As we continue to worship this morning, we want to pray over the foster care crisis in our state. Before we do that, I would like to share my own personal story of being in the foster care system. Some of you may know, and most of you may not know, that I was adopted through foster care in the state of Alabama. Growing up, I was raised by drug addicts and alcoholics. There were times we lived under a bridge, in our car, in and out of safe homes, or with whoever would let us crash for the time being. Seeing DCS walk through the doors of our home was not anything I was not accustomed to as a 9-year-old raising my little brother who was 5. The school, not 5, he was 5 years younger. The schools would report the obvious negligence and the abuse. My brother was too young to ever tell the social workers anything, and I knew the consequences if I did say anything out of line. Somehow my biological parents were always able to paint this pretty picture, and then DCS would leave our home, leaving behind my brother and I, hungry, scared, and alone, only with each other. But one day, it was different. My parents were arrested after another fight. My mom got out of jail. She moved us 3.5 hours away to a motel called the Rooftop Inn. It was just chaos. There were men in and out of our room. There was drugs. There was fighting. And one night, my mom was not okay, and she just laid on the bed, unable to move or even to speak to us. I told my mom I don't feel safe anymore, and I called the only number that I had memorized, my aunt's. I told her, I said, I can't protect my brother anymore. My mom is not okay. The drugs have done something to her. We hid in the bathroom all night, except when I would go to check to see if my mom was still breathing or not. The next morning, the sheriff knocked on our door bright and early. He took my brother and I out to his car. I screamed, afraid, scared that my mother was going to die. This was the last day that I ever lived with my biological parents. We sat in an office all day, not knowing what would happen next. Then this kind woman named Miss Donna showed up. She took us to Walmart to get clothes. She even bought us ice cream. That night, she took us to her home. It felt like a mansion compared to where we'd come from. She already had other foster kids in her home, but she welcomed me and my brother as family. For the first time ever, I ate a meal around a table. She tucked us in at night. It was the first time in my life I had seen what a family should operate as. It was like a movie. A few days later, though, my aunt walked through the daycare that we had been attending to pick us up. The moment I saw her, I burst into tears. I didn't know everything that had happened for her to take us into her home, but she had prepared a place for us, a real home full of love. And here's what I didn't realize at the time. In God's sovereignty, He placed us with the only believers in my entire family. My aunt and uncle took us to church every Sunday, and every night my aunt would tell us these beautiful bedtime stories that later I learned were from the Bible. Not long after, I heard the gospel for the first time, that God wanted to be my father. And I remember thinking, no, thank you. You keep that. I had one of those, and I don't want another one. But God didn't stop pursuing me. I was lonely. I felt abandoned after my parents chose drugs and alcohol over me. But thank God for Psalm 27:10 that says, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. I prayed and I asked God to fill the loneliness I had in my heart, and I asked Him to change me. But at 9, I hardly felt any change. So go figure, God didn't want me either. No one did, right? But my aunt explained to me that salvation was a lifelong journey. So I gave my life to Jesus, and that's when I experienced my second adoption, this time into the family of God. Over the next 2 years, there were court dates and visits. My mom couldn't hold things together. My dad, he disappeared completely. But even through all that pain and being abandoned by the people who should love you the most, I felt peace, because for the first time, I knew I was not alone and I was not abandoned. I was chosen and I was loved. Now when I look back, I thank God for Miss Donna, who opened her home to complete strangers. I thank God for my aunt and uncle, who sacrificed everything to make a place for us. And I thank God that He used their obedience to bring me to Himself. Today, there are thousands of kids in foster care who are waiting for someone like Miss Donna or my aunt and my uncle to step in. You might not be able to foster or adopt, but you can help. You can pray, you can give, you can serve, and you can be the village that surrounds the foster family in your neighborhood and in your church. Because when you do, you become a part of someone else's redemption story, just like I know there were many a part of mine that I'll never even know.